So as I'm recording this, it's International Women's Day, and I did the best thing that you could have done for International Women's Day this year, and I went and saw Captain Marvel, which is the first Marvel movie that is led by a female superhero. And I really, really enjoyed it. I think it was an important movie to be made. I think that, in all honesty, it probably should have been made years ago. They shouldn't have waited this long into the whole life cycle of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies to finally make one that starred a female superhero. But overall, I really enjoyed it, and I don't do movie reviews, so I guess that's my movie review. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Anyway, roll the thing. Hey guys, Sean here. So, I have been looking at Kickstarter a lot this week because of something that happened earlier in the week that we'll get to a little later in the video. And while looking at Kickstarter, I discovered, well, okay, I didn't discover, that I found that there is a page that you can look at where you can essentially put in like a browse sort of let me just show you what I'm talking about, because yeah, it would be more helpful if I did that. So here we have Kickstarter, and here we have this page. It's actually under Explore. If you go to Explore, and then it has all these different things that you can explore, and if you just click on everything, and then you can have them show me all categories, projects on Earth, and I found that weird because I was like, what else is in this drop down? If you click like projects on Saturn, but it just turns out that it's like United States, California, you know, it breaks it down more specifically, and Earth is just every project that's ever been on Kickstarter and sorted by, and then you can select the different categories. Or no, wait, not different. This is the different categories. This is like various things about it, like what's the popularity, what's the newest Kickstarters, when the end date, well, sorted by the end date. And if you click on most funded, this is what I wanted to talk about. Okay, I need to switch back over to this camera really quickly. Do you want to talk about Kickstarter? Do you have a favorite Kickstarter? Do you want to start a Kickstarter? Is that what is your project? Do you have a specific project in mind that you want to... You just want to mark everything with your cent? Is that... So let's go back to what I was talking about here. So this is the page that I wanted to talk about. So this shows the most funded products that have ever been put on Kickstarter. So first and foremost, the thing that I find fascinating is, so this is number one right here. This is the most funded product or campaign, whatever you want to say, on Kickstarter. And it is for the Pebble Time smartwatch. So we'll go ahead and open that. But if you look over here, you'll notice that the third most funded Kickstarter of all time is the Pebble 2 smartwatch. So let's click on that. But then also, you'll notice if we go down here, the fifth most funded is Pebble e-paper watch. So let's open that one. Now, the Pebble e-paper watch was, if you scroll the way down on these campaigns, it will show you. So it was from April 10th, 2012 to May 18th, 2012. Now let's look at the Pebble 2. May 24th, 2016 to June 29th, 2016. Okay, so obviously the Pebble e-white watch was the first one, and then the Pebble 2 was the second one. Now from the looks of the Pebble 1, it's essentially like a Kindle, kind of the way that it displays. It's got e-ink like a Kindle does. And it was hugely popular. I mean, let's scroll up to the little section here. So they wanted $100,000 for the goal. Like, that was the campaign. They were like, well, $100,000 is what we want. As you can see here, they got 10,266,845, and they had 68,929 backers. People went crazy for the Pebble. So much so that when they came out with the second version of the Pebble, and we'll scroll up on this, and they asked for $1 million. Like, well, let's ask for $1 million. They got $12 million on the second one, and they had 66,673 backers. So then, when they were like, okay, let's do the third, like the best Pebble that we could ever do. I think it's the third. We'll actually find out here in a second. Let's click on this one. I'm going to quickly scroll down just to make sure when the time period was. February 24th, 2015. So actually, the Pebble time was before the Pebble 2. See, I don't actually know all that much about Pebble. So the Pebble time was actually the second one that they did. And then the Pebble 2 was the third one they did. So that's weird. But look at this. Look at this garbage. They wanted 500,000 and they got 20,338,986. 78,000 backers. And essentially, like, the big thing about Pebble was that it was the first smartwatch, I think, that you could use for both iOS and Android, and it was relatively cheap. Like, if you got in early, it was $159. Well, we should look at the Paperwhite, actually, because it... Okay, yeah, the Paperwhite was only $100, and then this one was $70. So, I mean, yeah, it's not as advanced as an Apple Watch might be, but it was a good entry-level smartwatch for people. Now, here's the interesting thing that I have found out about Pebble since this week has started, and looking and talking with people about Kickstarter and stuff. Let's go to getpebble.com. You will notice, oh, look at that. It goes to Fitbit. That's because Pebble was bought out by Fitbit because of all the money that they made on Kickstarter. And here's another interesting little tidbit about Pebble. If we click on this little article here from January 24th of 2018, Fitbit will end support for Pebble smartwatches in June. So in June of last year, Fitbit ended all support for these three watches. So these three watches, which are 3 of the top 5 most funded Kickstarters of all time, do not work anymore, essentially. So I find that really kind of crazy. Like, Pebble made these 3 really popular, really successful smartwatches, and then got bought out by Fitbit, and then that was it. That was just basically the end of that product that everyone loved so much. But I mean, if you look at Fitbit's newest things and stuff, like this Fitbit right here, this looks very much like the Pebble time. It has a very similar sort of thing. So, I mean, good on Fitbit for buying Pebble. Actually, let's take a look at that. Fitbit bought Pebble for much less than originally reported. What? Fitbit paid $23 million for smart... Wow. So that's... I mean, $23 million, that's only $3 million more than they made on this Kickstarter. So that's crazy. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, as I've been looking at Kickstarter this week, it's really... These things are really fascinating when looking at the top end projects that have gone in. So that's Pebble, which is fascinating. So let's move on from that. Let's move on to this. I had never heard of this until this week. This is the second most funded Kickstarter of all time. And this is the coolest cooler. This is a smart cooler for the 21st century. So let's scroll down. When did this go? This was July 8th, 2014 to August 29th, 2014. So 52 days. So what does this cooler have exactly? Well, it has an 18-volt battery-powered rechargeable blender. It has a removable waterproof Bluetooth speaker, a USB charger, an LED lid light. Yeah. So, like, when you open it, it lights up. So, like, if you're in the dark and you open it, a lid light. Has geared tie-downs, so you can put stuff on top of it and tie it down. It's got a cooler divider / cutting board. So there's a divider in it, so you can have like ice on this side, sodas on this side, and they don't touch. And then you can pull that out, and it's a cutting board. It's got extra wide wheels for the beach, and integrated storage for plates and a knife, and it's got a bottle opener. So let's actually take a look at. They got pictures of all this stuff, and it's really kind of neat. So yeah, there's like a waterproof speaker here, and you can put your phone right there and Bluetooth it to the speaker. It's got a USB charger, so you charge up the battery that's within it, and then when you're on the go, you can then charge your phone from the battery that's in it. It's got the LED light, as I said. It's got gear tie downs, as you can see here. Got beach tires. And then this is the part that I found kind of cool. In the lid, it has, you can put your plates and a knife, and then here's the divider / cutting board, and then a bottle opener just kind of built into it. So I was looking at this and I'm like, I can't believe I never even heard of this thing. This is crazy. So let's go here and go to this. This is the website for the coolest. So obviously this product is, I said it was 2014, so it's 4 years old at this point. So they've made a lot of advances and stuff in the coolest. And so let's go to find my coolest here. Customize your coolest now. And oh sure, I value your policy, whatever. Look, you can change the colors of it here. And then here's all the interesting things that you can add to it. So you can add a blender, the LED light, and the battery USB charger. So I don't exactly understand what is in it to begin with, because it doesn't have the blender, the LED light, and the battery USB charger as default, but it's $250. So there's this. Oh, that's the speaker. Okay, so it's got the speaker, the plate and knife storage, the bottle opener, the beach wheels, the tie downs. It probably has the divider cutting board too. But then if you add the blender, the LED light, and the battery charger, it goes up to $400. And then you could add a solar USB charger. This is the thing that I found really fascinating. So you click on that, and we go down here. You can see it. They put a solar panel on top of it, so that you can charge the battery with a solar solar. That's insane. And then there's a bar top table and MagnaStable. I don't know what that is. I could probably look it up on this website. Oh yeah, see here, you prop up the solar panel and it'll charge it up for you. Oh, here's the bar top table. Okay, so yeah, it just raises up, so you don't have to reach down to grab your drinks. So you just put it on the bar top table. MagnaStable. What is MagnaStable? The solar lid comes with 4 sets of our new MagnaStable utensils built right into the lid. They cut, scoop, and poke with the best of them. And magnetic handles snap back together when you're done for the easiest storage. And you can get all that for just $500. Oh, it's out of stock. Is that because it's the... Yeah, okay, so in black, it's out of stock. But the other colors, you can get it. Well, not orange. For red and blue... Red and blue, you can get all that stuff for $500. So here's the thing. I don't go to the beach. That's just, I don't really care for the beach. I've never really understood the fascination with the beach. I mean, there's a lot of beach in the world, and it's really just, this is where ocean meets land. And, okay. But yeah, if I went to the beach all the time, this would be, well, and I drank, this would be amazing. And... my family, they go to the racetrack all the time, and this, I could see them getting something silly like this for the racetrack, but I don't know that they'd get all of this stuff. Maybe the blender. I could see them getting the blender for margaritas, and with the, I don't know. It's a neat product. It, like $500. I don't know that's that, but like if you go coolering a lot, places where you use a cooler a lot, yeah, no, this is I'd say $500 is actually a great price for something that is so versatile, which is probably why it was the #2 Kickstarter of all time. And speaking of that, how much? So they wanted $50,000 as their goal. They got $13,285,226 and had 62,642 backers. And also, just to be fair, for when they did the Kickstarter, if you got an early bird price, which was $165. So if you got in on the ground floor, you got a really great deal on it. But that was just kind of a nice little, like, hey, check out this cool little thing here that I didn't even know existed, but it's a neat little product. Okay, let's move on here to this. This is the fourth most backed campaign on Kickstarter, and it is a tabletop RPG game called Kingdom Death Monster 1.5. And we'll quickly scroll through here and we will see. Okay, so this ran from November 24th, 2016 to January 7th, 2017. Now, this is a tabletop RPG that uses miniatures, and it uses a lot of miniatures. So this game, there's a base game, and then there's a bunch of expansions, and like each expansion adds more miniatures to it. And so I found this while searching for it, and if we look at this right here, there's 401 total miniatures for the entire thing, which apparently costs, if you bought the entire thing, it's $2,840. So let's go back to this thing, because this is a really fascinating Kickstarter campaign because of a few things here. So let's take a look at, they wanted $100,000, which is, I guess, reasonable. And they got $12,393,139. And now, you'll notice here, here's something that instantly jumps out at you when you look at this. They got $12 million for this campaign. They only have 19,000 backers. If you'll remember in these other, like the Pebble, they got like $20 million and they had 65,000 backers and stuff like that. And even the Cooler had like 60,000 backers. This only had 19,000 backers. And why is that? Well, let's see. So if you pledge $5, you only get add-ons. So you don't really get much of anything. If you pledge $50, you get an upgrade, sort of. $60, you get an upgrade. So how much did you actually have to pledge to get the actual game itself? So right here, this is the first one that, so it has includes for each of the things here. So $200. You had to pledge $200 to get the core game. So the actual game itself, you had to pledge $200. And then the further you went, you would add more stuff to it until eventually, is there something really crazy here? Yeah, if you pledge $2,500, you get everything. So this is this found its audience, obviously, because this is for hardcore tabletop RPG people. I mean, look at all these cards. It's just crazy. And these really crazy miniatures and all that. And in order to actually get the main product that is the focus of this Kickstarter, you had to pledge $200. Now, here's the other thing that has been on the screen this entire time as I've been talking about this, but I haven't actually highlighted it yet because I'm curious if anyone noticed. And that is, as we scroll through all of the different add-ons and pledge tiers and all that, you will notice estimated delivery December 2020. So this thing hasn't even been finished yet and sent to the supporters, the backers of this Kickstarter. And if you remember, as I said, November 24th, 2016 to January 7th, 2017 is when this happened. So they knew that it was going to take so long to develop this and finish it. And they still got all those people to back it. And they're not sending them anything until December of next year. Not even this year, December of next year. But tabletop RPGs are like the perfect thing for Kickstarter. because you can easily make a proof of concept, and you don't even need to physically make it. You can, you basically make, here's the rules, here's what the miniatures will look like, here's, you just do all these things, and then you just need to collect the money to print it. And so that's Kickstarter. There's thousands of tabletop games on Kickstarter, and they all do really, really well because of that very reason. It's perfectly designed for that. Like, there's video games on Kickstarter too, but they don't do as well. Well, I mean, they get funded really well, but then they don't end up being as good when they finally come out, because you can't really plan as much as you would like to think you can when it comes to a video game in advance, because there's just so many variables along the way that can go wrong. And so Kickstarted video games generally have a problem by the end of their production and all that. But tabletop games, you just pretty much need the money to make it, because you've already designed it, you've already done all the hard work, essentially. You just need the money to get it made. Okay, so really quickly, we're going to talk about Exploding Kittens here. Exploding Kittens, I mentioned in a previous video where I talked about all the things that I had backed through crowdfunding. I'll link to it here. Oh no, it's like way over there because I'm all tiny down here. So way up there, up here. A card, and click on the card up here. Exploding Kittens, I don't really know what to say about it. It's a fun game. If you really are curious of my thoughts about Exploding Kittens, you can click on the card and see when I talked about crowdfunding things. The main thing I wanted to talk about with Exploding Kittens really quickly is the results. So let's quickly skip by it and see if I can... Okay. So it had 219,000 backers, and they wanted $10,000, and they got $8,782,571. It was crazy. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that it is the most successful percentage-wise campaign in Kickstarter history. So, like, yeah, obviously all these other things made more money. These other 6 products made more money, but they were asking for more money. Whereas Exploding Kittens, they were only asking for $10,000, and they made $8 million. But again, it goes back to what I was just saying about tabletop games are perfect for this, because they had all the cards already designed and everything. They just needed money to print the cards and make the boxes. So that's why they're like, well, we just need $10,000 to print all these cards. But then, yeah, they got way more than $10,000. And that's why they added a little something special in all of the boxes that came from the Kickstarter. So I think I talked about this in the video before where I talked about the crowdfunding that I did. But let's see here. Oh, here, right here. We'll add a surprise to the box that makes it so unbelievably happy. That makes us so unbelievably happy, we almost just screwed up and ruined the surprise. We think when you show it to your friends, you'll have a hard time not ruining the surprise as well. And so here, because I did get it, the thing that they added was this. So every time you open the box, it does that. And the thing that it doesn't mention here that they kind of revealed after is, in order to put that in all of the boxes and develop it and all that, it cost $1 million to do that. But they had made $8 million, 8 point whatever million dollars more than they were expecting. So they're just throw $1 million at something so silly. Why not? Okay, the last thing I want to talk about here, because I can already tell this video has got to be getting close to 30 minutes long, because I talked about that cooler for 10 minutes by itself. So this is the reason I've been looking at Kickstarter so much this week. So here's the top 3, top 6, top 9, and if we go one more, here we have number 10. And this is Critical Role, The Legend of Vox Machina animated special. So I've talked about Critical Role on this channel. I made 2 videos all about Critical Role. Let's do the here up here. Here's a card. It'll link to the 2 Critical Role videos that I made. But essentially, just to get you up to speed if you don't know, and you don't want to bother clicking on the 2 videos that are on the card, or you're on a mobile device, or no, mobile devices cards should work. Television apps, they don't work. Yeah. Anyway, so Critical Role is a weekly Twitch stream where professional voice actors play D&D. That's the quick and dirty pitch of it. They've been doing this for like 4 years now. It's hugely popular on Twitch, and they don't realize just how popular it is. And every time they try and do something, they get more and more shocked by how big the community is. And this is the ultimate proof of that. So they started this Kickstarter campaign on Monday, and they wanted $750,000 to make a 22-minute animated special based on the characters from their first campaign. And they have already made $6,644,057. And they still have 41 days to go. So let's scroll down here, and you will see that they have... So here's the breakdown. They were smart enough to show the breakdown of everything, percentage-wise. This is something that a lot of Kickstarters don't do. So the breakdown of it is 74% of what they get is going to production of animation. And then 1% will be operational costs. And that's essentially, just paying people to work on things. So it's actually less than 1%. And then 17% is to fulfill the rewards that you can get by doing the various tiers, and then 9% is for campaign fees, so processing credit cards, and then Kickstarter takes 7% from everything. Which is why you'll notice that all of these products here in the top are product we love. Product we love. Oh, I guess they didn't love this one. That's kind of funny. But product we love. Well, yeah, no, of course you're going to love it. You're getting 7% of $20 million. Of course Kickstarter is going to love this product. But anyway, they scrambled after the first day to make new stretch goals, because they were like, there's no way that... I think they had these maybe 4 stretch goals the first day. And so what they've decided to do, because it's what people care most about. So normally when people do stretch goals, they'll be like, okay, we'll add in more stuff for rewards. Like, so if you were going to get 20 miniatures, if we hit this goal, you'll get 40 miniatures, stuff like that. But what they're doing, since it's animated, it's an animated special that they were working on, every time they hit a new goal, they're adding more to it. And now it has actually reached the point where it was going to be a 22-minute animated special, and then they're like, okay, every time we hit a stretch goal, we'll add another 22 minutes to it. Well, they blew past that to the point where it was 88 minutes, and then they're like, okay, let's make a series. And so now what they're doing is they're taking 44 minutes, the first 2 episodes of the series, and that's going to be the thing that they were planning on doing. And then everything after that is going to be based on arc in the first campaign that they did. They're going to animate stuff that happened in their first campaign. And so the overall goal here is... They still have a question mark for this one. So they're up to essentially, I think, 6 episodes of that now. And the next goal is 7.5 million. And as we noted over here, they're at 6,641,000. So this has already become the most successful video and film Kickstarter ever. So if we go to all categories and go to film and video, you'll see it's number one. They passed Mystery Science Theater 3000, which was the old number one. And also, if we go back to all campaigns, you'll see that they have passed Shenmue 3, which is a video game. So that makes it the most successful film, video, or video game Kickstarter of all time. And if they hit the next stretch goal, they will surpass this tabletop game here, the Seventh Continent, because this has 7 million. And the Ouya, what is the Ouya at? The Ouya is at 8.5 million. So they'll have to reach probably their next stretch goal to pass 8.5 million. And I mean, the way things are going, with 41 days left, they could even potentially pass Exploding Kittens. And maybe this silly jacket. What was the silly jacket? The silly jacket is 9.1 million. I don't know that they'll pass 9.1 million, but you never know, like, with how crazy this has gone. But yeah, that's why I've been looking at Kickstarter all week, because of the Critical Role animated special. It's just so fun to watch it go up the ladder as the week has been going on. And here's the really funny thing about it. So their plan is that, you know, once the Kickstarter has ended and they know how much money they have to work with, they will start production on it. And the plan is to have it all done by fall of 2020, which would fall before winter of 2020, when this game is finally supposed to ship. That was funded 3 years ago. So I don't know what's going on with this thing, but apparently people love it. So good on them. Anyway, I've talked way too much about the fascinating things I've found about Kickstarter this week. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you have a favorite Kickstarter that you've ever backed? Have you been watching the progress of the Critical Role Kickstarter? Did you back any of these top 10 things? Does anyone own the world's best travel jacket with 15 features? 15! Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more of the crazy crap that goes on around here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to help support the crazy crap that goes on around here, go ahead and hit up my Patreon. Link is in the description. And with that, have a good however long it is until you watch my next video.